Whew, it's late. I just got done posting an article. I couldn't go to bed until I got this article completed. I worked on it for a few hours today for the X Prize writing contest, which is a good sign. If I'm becoming slightly obsessed with writing where I can't go to sleep before I get an article completed, then that is a good thing. So, perfect. And I took a really weird long nap in the middle of the day today. I fell asleep. I didn't purposely take a nap. But I tend to fall asleep a lot when I read now, which is kind of unusual. I didn't used to do that so much. And I wanted to make an update anyways, because I've been seeing a ton of progress. I had last week on Thursday I had an adjustment, and I've not been doing as good as I was doing since we moved from 3 adjustments a week to 2 adjustments a week. And I moved from 6 to 3 adjustments a week. It wasn't too bad, but 3 to 2 made a huge difference because the stretch from Thursday to Tuesday is pretty long, and hadn't feeling the greatest. I got an adjustment on Thursday. I must have done something wrong when I was sleeping that night. Woke up Friday not feeling so great. It got worse and worse. And I started doing a ton of stretching. I stretched for a few hours on Friday and didn't really seem to make a difference that day. And it hurts and it was uncomfortable. Normally, when stretching really starts to hurt, it's not good because you're tearing something, a lot of times some sort of connective tissue. But I kept doing it in this case. And then on Saturday, I stretched for hours. Then on Sunday, I stretched for hours. And then on Monday, I stretched for hours. And then I adjustment today, and I've stretched for hours today too. So anywhere between 2 and 6 hours of stretching my neck. And just, trying to restore this range of motion. Which, you can see it's an all right range of motion, but it's not great. It's really hinged up right there in this range of motion. So, which is kind of the same thing. It's an all right range of motion, but it's not great, either one of them. But as long as I keep that stretched out, I've been making a lot of progress, it seems like. And I feel it all the way down my spine. My spine's been making all sorts of adjustments, not just in my cervical spine, but even in my thoracic spine and my shoulder blades. Been feeling really odd. The shoulder's been feeling odd, and even down the elbow, and even I can feel it, the tenseness in the wrist and the hand. So, like this whole side of the body, as I stretch this out, has felt really odd. But I seem to be making a lot of progress with it. I seem to have more energy, more mental clarity. It's wiped me out to some extent, but I spent hours stretching, and not just like this and that. I've been doing mostly that, but even getting on the floor and applying some pressure and stuff. So if you're spending hours doing that, you're not spending hours doing other stuff. Uh, so I don't know how the energy actually falls out there because I've been sleeping a lot too, which is important for recovery. But it's very interesting and it feels really good because I have some self-efficacy, right? I can do something about it. It's really weird when you have some sort of issue and then you just can't do anything about it. Right? To do your thing to do is to accept at times, at some points. But in this case, if I can have something to do that makes some sort of progress, then it's great. And if it's restoring this range of motion, then that is perfect. And if I have to trade stretching for a couple hours a day for that, that that works for me. So between that and writing, excellent stuff, excellent stuff. And the teaching is just trying to kind of going along. And I've got a bunch of stuff coming up, Amy, which might be one of the few people that watches these. I'm not sure if anyone really watches these things. Amy is coming up from Omaha soon. It's like 2 weeks away, which is awesome. And then I think next month I have my orientation for my reading volunteering, which I'm going to try to move forward with because an hour a week seems like it should work out just fine. At least I'm going to wade into it. I'm not necessarily going to dive into it. I'm going to wade into that opportunity. And then because really, I don't know, even know if I should be pursuing that. I should probably be focusing on some sort of purpose, which I'm trying to get oriented on, right? Some sort of purpose and keeping a priority constantly in front of me, which isn't the easiest thing to do. Because one, I like to be scattered, and then Two, it's just logistically hard because you got other stuff to do. So staying on purpose is going to be a huge key, especially with this writing, because there is so much resistance. A lot of times when you start other types of jobs or you start doing something else, you can work at it and you can get paid and you can live off it and you kind of orient your life around it. In this case, I kind of have to orient my life around it while not getting directly paid for it right away. So it's an interesting balancing act, but I still have to align everything with that purpose. And if the stretching helps my neck and my head and all of these issues, then that is a huge step in the right direction. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And there's a bunch of theories about that, but really the application is key. Oh, and I'm always looking at some philosophy stuff. I was refreshing my thoughts on negative pragmatism today, or the demarcation of truth and falsity, and demarcation between science and philosophy. Karl Popper's huge into falsifiability, that demarcation. But negative pragmatism seems to be the fallback option, like the automatic way criteria of truth, which is that if something works, so pragmatism was originally founded by Charles Sanders Peirce, which his last name looks like it should be spelled or pronounced Pierce, and that would be a better name, but for some reason Peirce. And he was an American polymath. A lot of times pragmatism is promoted as the only American philosophy. Some people throw objectivism in there from Ayn Rand, but in a more classical sense, they only really accept pragmatism. But pragmatism was then taken over by William James and John Dewey, who were the ones that really made it famous. Charles Sanders Peirce hated that because they took it away from his ideas originally, because he was a logician more than anything else, and it was supposed to be a criteria of truth. And he founded a philosophy called pragmaticism. He purposely made it hard to say so that no one else would usurp him and take over his philosophy again, like happened the first time with pragmatism. And then it's basically died out. But it preserved the original ideas of pragmatism a little bit. And the idea is that if something works, it's true. Negative pragmatism was founded by William Ernest Hocking, William Ernest Hocking, I believe. And not that long ago. And it's interesting in that it says if something doesn't work, then it's definitely not true. And if it works, it could be true or it could not be true, which is true. That is the way stuff actually works. That's the way science actually moves forward, right? If you prove something incorrect, then it's incorrect. If you prove something true, then it may or may not be correct, but you can use it for now until you figure out that that's not exactly true. And this way you get greater approximations of the truth. So negative pragmatism, I was just refreshing myself on that. And then I was really thinking about ethics, and I've been into consequentialist ethics forever because it only seemed to make sense, and I can tie in intentions with that, right? It says the outcome is what really determines whether something was good or bad, and I got that a little bit from John Stuart Mill and utilitarianism, and some of the people that helped found it before that, but I really liked John Stuart Mill. The issue with it is, as it particularly worked in my life, I haven't hasn't aligned good with how people actually work, and I just don't think it's worked well personally for me. So going with our criteria of truth, that means it's false. It means it's incorrect. So then you have to look at other things, and there's a lot of different directions to go. But to flip it, at least as far as words go, I believe basically became an intentionalist. All right, and I think the switch on that really flipped today, which is really weird. So big stuff going on today, right? And I'm working on an article to enter a writing contest that's pretty big. I'm doing great with the stretching out the neck and changing from a consequentialist to intentionalist. An intentionalist believes that the moral rightness or wrongness or goodness or badness of an act is based on its intentions rather than on its consequences. and I could get fairly deep into arguing both sides of that, but I'm not going to because it can get a little boring. But I've switched sides in that. I've flipped over, and I think the intentionalism is, which has some other meanings, has some meanings in literature actually, which is very interesting. In that the meaning of a story is based on the meaning that the author wrote into the literature rather than the meaning the reader takes from the literature, which is an interesting thing I haven't thought a ton about, but I'm starting to more. I might be on that side, although I'm not sure in art quite yet. But in moral ethics, intentionalism means that the intention means it's good, and I think that's going to work out a lot better for me. So we'll see. Anyways, big stuff happening, and obviously I have more energy right now. So hopefully by stretching, I don't know if I could stretch for 2 hours a day and make a lot of progress health wise on that, then that would be excellent. It's not. I don't know if that's quite ideal. Maybe if I could get down to like an hour a day, that would be ideal. An hour a day of stretching, 7 hours a week. That's not bad at all. I used to lift weights for hours every day. I used to ride a bike for hours every day. I used to run for hours every day. I used to do body weight training for hours every day. So doing some sort of physical activity for hours every day for health or fun or whatever works. I know I can do that. So if it happens to be stretching now, then I'm perfectly okay with that. Really happy with that. I'm excited about this contest, and I think intentionalism is going to work out well for me. We'll see how it actually works. Anyways, that's my update for now. Until next time.